Good afternoon. Today is the 24th of April, and it's time for yet another not particularly interesting, very vague, and probably quite boring vlog. So, yesterday, my lady wife and I decided to go down to a farm where we sometimes volunteer, and we're looking forward to, in my lady wife's case, weeding some
Low battery. Please
in my
charge.
case, shoveling a substance that reminds me of something that you might know, but I won't tell you what it is. There was a big pile of it and it needed moving. Before we got there, we had a problem. So this old Sunny, obviously, it's a very old car. It's a 36-year-old car. When I was 6 years old, this car was registered, so it's obviously for me, it's a very old car. And recently, I've been having this sort of slight issue where the fuel flap wouldn't necessarily release the first time. And on this particular car, I will show you this later on, the fuel flap release and the boot release are on the same lever inside the car. You can open the boot with the key as well, but it was a bit reluctant. And I went to the petrol station, I don't know when it was, a few weeks ago. I noticed when I had managed to get it open by sort of pulling the lever in both ways and then was closing the boot, filling the car up, and then showing the fuel flap and the boot opened again.
Please
I didn't think much of it at the time. But we were just approaching the farm. It's on quite a bumpy road, a twisty road, and the boot came open. Obviously, we then got there and it was fine. We couldn't close it at all. We couldn't close it. It didn't matter what I did. I wasn't able to close it, which is obviously not the best when you're driving back on quite a fast road for it to be sort of open and kind of stuff potentially falling out of it and things. So that wasn't necessarily the best. But fortunately, the chap who actually owns the land is quite handy with various things. So between us, we found 2 old cable ties inside the boot, and we managed to actually secure it. It wasn't in any way sort of closed; it was sort of open, and it would go up and down and things. But at least it was secure, and nothing would fall out. The problem was with that is that every single person who came up behind us would be kind of flashing me behind me.
Please charge.
When the boot was open. The thing was, I haven't got a way of telling someone behind me, it's absolutely fine. The boot is completely secure. It's a cable tie. It's not coming undone. Without writing a sign and putting it in the back window, which I couldn't do. We didn't have the facility to do that. So I just gritted my teeth and got on with it whilst lorries and cars flashed me behind. And of course, if we'd been pulled over by the police, I would have just said, look, I'll show you the boot's completely secure. This is just a way to get home. It's not a permanent solution or anything, but this is what we've done so far, which is going to be a bit of a problem. We are going to have to get this fixed. Whatever we did, the chap over land and I just fiddled with it. We just couldn't get it to do anything. So I'm going to have to get it repaired properly, which is a bit inconvenient. Unfortunately, I don't really need this car for a few weeks. The Audi is going to be coming back quite soon. We can use that to go to shows and things temporarily, and obviously I've got the Volvo to drive around in normally, so that's what we're going to be doing.
Please charge.
And we're very blessed to be in that sort of fortunate position, but this isn't a car that we use every day all the time, and so we're not reliant upon it to be okay. What we've done as well is actually duct tape the boot shut, so stop it bouncing up and down on the motorway. Obviously, that's not the main thing holding it. The main thing holding it is the cable tie, so it is secure. And obviously now, with the duct tape of the boot, it's not going to bounce up and down. It won't get people flashing me as I'm driving. So that will do for a while. I mean, I could potentially still go away in this car with it like that, and just put luggage on the back seat. It's fine, as long as you clear it out when you're parked up. So that's okay. It is quite annoying, but that's what happens with an old car. Some people will be asking me now, like, what are you going to do with your Sunny? And I think we've said this before, but a friend of mine who actually used to own this, Mr. Brisdian, who had it for years.
Low battery. Please charge.
There's 35,000 miles on this car in a few years. He is desperate to have it back, and this isn't a private thing at all. He keeps saying to everybody that that's what's happening. So that's what's going to happen. We will, after this car has been finished with, which will be about sort of early September, I think, because I want to take this to Rusterville. I want to take it to Festival Exceptional for sure. That's what we'll be happening with it. And apart from that, I mean, the issue with fuses, which we've discussed before on the channel, which sometimes still does happen, and all I have to do, if that does occur, is just to rotate the fuses over, and it seems to go away. Now, if I were going to keep this car, I would probably do something a bit permanent about it, but because he's really wants it back, and we've already discussed how it's going to happen, I'm just happy to keep it like that. I also was going to change the radio over.
Low battery.
Because that doesn't
Please
work properly. But again, it's exactly the same as when he had it, so we're not going to do that. I have fixed one thing myself, in addition to the other things we've done to this car, like the new engine and one of the drop links, things like that. I have actually fixed this seal on the door here. I did that myself. I don't know if I'm proud of myself for doing it, but it was cheaper for me to do it than to get someone else to try. Mr. Coleman had a go at it, and he wasn't quite able to do it either. So I did fix something myself, and I did help. Yesterday, we're trying to get this cable tie through the mechanism so it can stay shut. I'm pleased to say we're driving along the motorway now. I've had absolutely nobody flash me at all. So for now, we're okay, and I will just get someone who knows what they're doing to look at that at some point. But for the time being, this will do, and obviously the paint on this car is so old.
Please charge.
Duct tape on it. I don't think it's really going to matter particularly. The car is going to be featured quite soon on the JM on Cars channel. I've seen the video that James Martin very kindly did on it about 3 weeks ago. He sent me over. I've just suggested some alterations for him because I've got some footage that of other sunnies that he's going to put in, I think. And I don't know when that's going up exactly. I mean, maybe some of you will have already seen that by now. But yeah, I quite like driving this car. I quite enjoy using it as much as I can. There's something that happened actually the other day. I was contacted by a channel viewer who was looking at buying a car of this sort of age to use on a daily basis, and I was giving him some advice about that. And unless you're sort of like Mr. Brisdian and you're, on the sort of, unusual side, or you and Mr. Coleman, in which case you can fix the car yourself. It's very often the case that not many people use cars like this on a daily basis anymore, and I can understand that. Although this car's not too bad, it came to me in quite good condition, engine aside, of course, that we've replaced. There's little things which just keep annoying and go wrong with it, and it just happens like that an awful lot. Now, I don't think this is going to be a particularly difficult thing to sort out, but I just sort of prefer, even me, just having a car I can rely on to do work, like get to shows I need to get to, do jobs for clients, things like that. I need something that's actually going to do that. And if this just keeps having these annoying little problems all the time, which has had quite a few of them, because it's a very old car, then that's not really ideal. So I think really what my advice to him and my advice to anybody is you've got to think about this quite carefully, really. We're not even talking about the different driving dynamics of a car like this, and the fact we're on a carburettor, and we haven't got any safety features really at all in this, apart from me being able to brake in time with no ABS. So you're just going to think about it quite carefully, really. And a lot of these, when you're looking at them, something that Richard Sutton said back in the day on Deals on Wheels, which was in the late 90s, he said, just remember that classic cars are just really old second-hand cars. That's what they are. They're really old second-hand cars. So it's fun to own classic cars. And obviously at the moment, I've got two. I own the Audi V8 with Simon from our 206 cars. We've got two of them. Obviously that will be going soon as well. But you have to sort of look at it quite objectively. It's like, are you ready for ownership of a car like this that just might throw you these little problems all the time, and potentially could cause you, if you are going to use it your only car, to not be able to use it for a while. Is that something that you're prepared for? That's why many people who own cars like this do have second or third cars. It's classics, and then have some main ones, more modern ones, even if they're not particularly interesting, because it kind of helps really to have something you can rely upon. Anyway, what we'll do is we'll go and park up somewhere, and I will just show you what we've done to try to temporarily fix this problem. So as I said earlier, I'll just show you what we've had to do. Now, the boot is a bit loose. See that? But it is cable tied on at the bottom. We managed to loop a bit of cable tie through the boot lock at the bottom and through the top of that. I was using 2 and it's secured it. We've put the tape on, not because that's actually what's holding it on, it's just so that when you drive along the motorway, people don't keep flashing behind you, because it does sort of go up and down, because it wasn't possible to sort of pull it all the way down with the cable ties. So that's stopped it now, and no one flashed me on that journey that you've just seen me do. Yeah, I mean, obviously it's not fitting particularly, because this car's had a rear end impact at some point between 2020 and 2024, which wasn't in my ownership. I don't know what happened with Mr. Brisdian, I'm not sure. But yeah, so this will do for now. I probably, his paintwork's so old, I'm not really concerned about it damaging it or anything. Inside here, it's got a very unusual system. Now, a lot of the older Japanese cars, your Hondas, and things like that, have a remote release in here for the boot, but this one's actually got a fuel release like that as well. It's not 2 separate levers, it's one. I'm not going to fiddle with that, but I did notice actually that did sometimes cause the fuel flap to be a bit of a problem as well. So we've got about half a tank of fuel in the car, and I'm not planning necessarily using it very much until I get this boot fixed, so that's fine. Which is a shame. We have to sort of put this somewhere safe for a while and just sort of leave it, I think, until I can think of a solution to actually get that fixed, because that's not really going to work very well for long term. Now, I can, if I go to like a local show or something, I don't have to necessarily fill the car up, just take it like this if I really want to. But it's a little bit unsightly with duct tape on your boot. So there we go. Not much else to say really. We've had a thorough discussion about the sort of perils of trying to run something like this on a daily basis, which Mr. Brisdian, to be fair with him, did do it for about 4 years. So he only sort of stopped doing it because he had problems with his engine. That's enough for today though, I think. Thank you ever so much indeed once again for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like this video in the comment below, and we shall see you again soon. Hope with some better news with this Sunny for more very vague and not particularly interesting musing.